Can I breakfast already? Okay, you have breakfast. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to thank you to all industry players for your association, various associations from MATA. Okay, we have MEMA, MSKMA. Okay, and then we have from SME Association also. And thank you our friends from Madrid, MITI, SIRIM. Okay, we have friends from SIRIM also. And then and also we have our speaker here, Mr. Gary Leong from ViTrox Corporation Berhad. Okay, I think without further ado, maybe we can start with Mr. I don't know, start with with the doctor for welcoming remarks.
Thank you thank you for coming to this sharing session. Actually, this platform is meant for sharing the best practices. What actually ViTrox has done towards the transformation towards the Industry 4.0. So this program actually we want to look at very specifically on the talent development program and how ViTrox develops their talents towards the new changing technology, especially on the coming Industry 4.0, and also how we can leverage ViTrox to be one of the vision technology center of excellence for the MNE sector. So as we know that ViTrox also do the manufacturing in terms of high mix and low value kind of production, right? So maybe from the MNE we have a similar operation like ViTrox, and then we can learn and adopt all the best practices by ViTrox Corporation. Now, without further ado, I would invite to Mr. Gary Leong to deliver your presentation. Thank you.
Good morning, selamat pagi. Well, it's an honor for me to be here to share with you some of the best practices, what ViTrox did over the past 19 years. Next year, or we'll say the next few more weeks, we'll be celebrating our 20th year. And so ViTrox is still, I would say, now a teenager company, and the journey continues. So the very important is that also from the words of our CEO and also our co-founders, we exist for the nation. We want to help the nation to build as well, and hopefully there will be more and more LLC companies grow from SMEs within Malaysia. So that's where our dream and our heart is, and that's where I say that we practice an open door sharing. Some of you have been to our offices. We have an open office concept, and over at ViTrox also we welcome you all to come over to learn as much as possible, and for us we also share, even sometimes our own technology as well. Okay. So for myself, this is ViTrox in Batu Kawan. We have moved to Batu Kawan 1 year ago. So opposite here is actually IKEA. Today 12/12 there's some big sales over there. Probably the Petaling Jaya one as well. Yeah. So I've been doing some talks over the nation and also some overseas. In the past, this year and also last year, my topic was connect, visualize, proact. It was very simple and caters towards one of our products. But after I went into Germany, I went to Singapore, I went to Spain, and see what the world is moving towards in terms of this Industry 4. I see that a lot of the bigger companies like SAP, Accenture, Microsoft, Deloitte, and so those big companies are going into IoT space. Wow, I see that these big boys going to that is not an easy thing. And then of course they have their own strategies. So I'll share with you some of the areas, what I see for the past 1 year, and how will Malaysia give its own competitive edge. Okay? So I add on one thing, the areas. So a little bit about myself. By the end of this year, I'll be having my 20th working experience. So over in ViTrox, I've been 7 years already. Prior to that, I was in China for 7 years. So I've seen some of the areas of how the booming of Asia and also China. So I'm based in Penang most of the time. A little bit of ViTrox is that we do vision machine inspection systems. So that's our core products, and that is where we came from the direct in the 19 years ago. Okay, we start up very small, 3% the co-founders from our CEO's bedroom. So that's how we start up. So from inspired from a camera. So from there, he has a vision to how to do industrial vision. Today we are in campus 2 at present with about almost 600 plus people. So we have offices around the world, including Germany, US, China, and these are some of the contractors as well as these sales channel partners, means our partners around the world. Because we sell our products, even though R&D, design, manufacturing in Penang, but we sell our products all over the world. So we see that many SMEs, especially in equipment, especially in automation, can also do that. Because of our competitive, we see that when we are facing the competition around the world, we see that of course there's obvious challenges because some areas are better competitive price, in certain areas are better competitive in terms of technology. So are we in between? So that's where we see that how can we move forward. So in a nutshell, a machine vision means that you put a camera with light source, special light source in the areas of algorithms to find out what's the defects, what's the areas of issues on your product, and then you connect to machines, automation, people to remove those issues. Defect product. Just in a quick one, we started off with this one that we added onto an automation machine. So the vision itself is a module. Then, because by that time we have only about 30 people, 40 people. So to build a big machine is kind of difficult at that time. So we built the vision system, and we added on into, we partner with some of the automation companies. Until today, they are still our partners. So they are specialized in automation, so we specialize in vision. So and then we partner and then we sell overseas. Of course, we build our capability through our hands, and then we build our own automation machines with vision on areas of the partner didn't do. So there's, because in semiconductor as well as in a lot of other electronics business, there's so many inspections requirement in different aspects, different areas. Okay. This is the semiconductor. This is in the electronic assembly, meaning that those are assembled into a product, into a box. That, for example, your phones, your certain car, your television, your desktop, or even a notebook. Then we have others in the areas of robotic vision. Okay. Others are actually, okay, this is, we use that software initially to develop and improve our own system, and after about 3 years ago we found out that this system is very good at what the customer wants. So we turn it around to improve it. Okay. So everyone has their own system. So now on, I'm going to share with you some of the areas of, I'm not going to do more of, not much of product, but more of sharing. So I prepared about, until here about almost 30 over slides, so we'll take about half an hour more and so. You can ask questions in between, but I encourage dialogues, okay, so that you can ask, we can continue. So I have this question many times. Some of you have seen before. What is the common misconception? So we have, a lot of you have seen this 1 to 4, and this is not a strange thing. It's very common. But what is strange a lot is that a lot of people think that in order to go to Industry 4, it goes through Industry 3. Right? So this is how it's designed. So in between my presentation, I have about 5 facts to share. some facts that show these are the facts that some nugget goals over here. So what we did was here. Fact number 1. We jump from industry 2 to 4 and then come back to here. What do I mean by that? Okay, let me go back. In Malaysia, we have a lot of cheaper labors. Our labor cost is not expensive. Okay, so it is for us to go and buy a very expensive robots to automate certain process is not an easy decision, right? So for us is that, so what we do is that instead of many of times, so that era of robotic to improve a lot of areas, we sort of delayed it. We sort of delayed one industry, and then doesn't mean that we cannot digitize whatever is done on industry 2 or even industry 1. So what we do is that a lot of our workforce or even our task that's doing a job, we digitize it, meaning that we as easy as barcode sensors, we also put it RFID on the projects that we do. So we do so that we're able to track, trace, and understand what are the processes was involved while they're doing. Okay. Then, after knowing if it's a task that is very mundane, very redundant, then we use robots. We can come back to robots. That's what we mean. So in ViTrox as well, certain tasks we're doing, for example, like AGV or AIV, is that the next thing we're going to do. Just people are bringing things, and we understand now the route. It's almost the same. This person always takes this one from here. So how can we automate it? In the area of Industry 4, it's actually very big. So cloud has been existed many years ago. A lot of information, your Gmail, Google, translate from Outlook, you go to Gmail, all goes to cloud, right? And then IoT comes in, where you harness the information from every system, every machine, and things like that, processors. Edge. So from cloud processing, then you say that, okay, edge is important because you need fast response. Probably within 5 seconds, you need a response within that. So machine-to-machine communication started on edge. So when a process change detected, how do you correlate that information back to another process before or after to make a certain change? For example, if let's say a CNC machine, okay, you detected on a lot of quality issues on a certain batch. How do you relate back this to the numerical programs that you have done before? AI on the analytics side, so you collect a lot of information, then you process it using deep learning or even machine learning as well, and these are all available. Of course, then the next one is, the last one is digital twin. Some of you have heard what's digital twin, and some may not. So digital twin is actually, you replicate what is physical into digital. If you change a process at the digital, what is the outcome? If your outcome is what you wanted, you can go back to your physical. It's like Jarvis on Iron Man. Okay. Similarly, okay, Jarvis does a lot of simulation on the digital world, and then before he replicate a model. Okay, in a nutshell. So what it does is that you have a data model. Your data model is actually your data that you collect from cloud, from IoT, from edge. You collect a lot of data. Analytics comes from AI. Okay, you analyze what is the outcome, what is the anomalies, what is the issues or that is abnormal from what is the normal. Your knowledge base, which is people. Knowledge base is where people's knowledge needs to impart insight. What happens if something this goes wrong? But I will share more of this later on. So that's how this three added up towards digital. So of course, a lot of papers. I just pick one from the internet, like Deloitte says what is digital twin model, physical and digital, and how does it incorporate into each other. So this one, you go to a website, there's a lot of this. So what we did is that we started on our customers first. We didn't start on ViTrox first, because for us, what do I mean by we start our customers means that we incorporate Industry 4 or even the next edge onto our products first. Then we understand what does the customer wants in terms of different layers of communication protocols, different layers of software, and how do they communicate with each other. So after we understand that and we get a certain knowledge and build up the internal team, then we go next to our own manufacturing. Because we found out that to drive our own manufacturing change slightly more difficult, even now as well. Because people are used to how they do it, and you ask them to change, it's not an easy thing. So what we did was, to prove a lot of concept, we built on our products, we understand our customers' processes, and then we come back on the best practices. There's a lot of failure as well. Then we come back. How do we use our own? Of course, for example, shop floor machine communication, all these things, a lot of protocols. MQTT, REST, RS232, and back to the very, very old command, like Modbus and so on and so forth. There's so many. Your connectivity, okay, OPC these are the newer ones, standardized from a different level of so that it's scalable. Then your planning. Some may use MES, some may not have MES. In ViTrox, our best friend is Google Sheets, free. So our Gmail, Google Sheets, Google Presentation, Google Slides, everything, we will use this and then we will create it, we will share, and we learn from how the model is like. So instead of using paper, we will encourage our staff to put all this in digitization. So once we digitize, we're able to say, okay, what's next? Because in high mix, low volume, or even equipment manufacturing, there's a lot of projects. We have to understand the projects. All this project management, we use Jira. Jira is also another software. It's not expensive. Then I'm not promoting for them, but this is what we use. Okay. So there we do like Scrum projects, and understanding how the project management, so on and so forth. So if you ask me, in the morning, if I go to the office, what do I do? Of course, I drive in, I park my car, I go in, I scan my card. So for scanning my card, the data of what time I scan in and what time I scan out is already logged into the system. So the system is anybody has this. But we at more than 10 years ago we did this. Do we analyze the data? Yes. Our CEO see who is late. Who is late, and then we have if you consecutively late for 5 times, please see the CEO. Okay. But don't know right now we are seeing the trend. When we collect this information, we see the trend of behaviors. We see the trend of punctuality. We see the trends of how do we see the trend of people coming early or late versus MC, so on and so forth. So we see trends by putting data or graphs together. Okay, so I come in, then we have our usual morning standing meeting. So we use, instead of using papers or boards, some still boards, but most of us we use Trello because we have staff that's in KL, in overseas. Then we communicate through either WhatsApp or phone. Then we see the same data. Okay. Of course, we adopted ERP not very early stage. About I think 5 years ago. It was a love and hate relationship. Okay. Not easy. Okay, I'll shut up. So ERP is also important. So of course it is expensive, but entails a lot of, just especially the finance, costings, your projects. If you want to do digital projects, because cost is very important. The finance details is very important. The logistic information, the MRP, all these things goes into it, right? And then business intelligence tools we use. We want with our own software to analyze what are the areas. We pull data from ERP, we pull data from Jira, we pull data from machines to combine together. What are the things that we can make sense of? Some may not make no sense, but some, if you connect 2 or 3 information together, yes, it will make some sense. I'll share more about what. So, the fact number 2 is that we concentrated on our improving our products for our customers first. Because we know that if we did this, our engineers, our teamwork is better to drive towards improvement. If we do it for our own self, slightly lacking because they are used to it. So we did that first, then we come back to this output. Then of course, in terms of electronics, we work together with partners to our customers. Because in electronics, we are talking about how does a machine talk to another machine. Human can talk to another human. Okay, in Malaysians, we talk common languages. English, Bahasa, Chinese, and so on and so forth. But machine, one is built in Germany, one is built in Korea, one is built in Japan. Right? The languages that they build is also different. So machine has to talk to the machine and a certain common language as well. And that's where you see that at the end of it, the product that comes out of the manufacturing is important. So we translate this, what we understand from this electronics, into other industries as well. How does equipment manufacturing of tooling benefit from machine to machine? So this is where the next era will go to. Because at the end of it, your tooling, your block is very expensive. Okay, because of you also have a cost pressure because of 3D printers coming up. So, how do you improve your quality from the production? Right. Certain machine to machine, and what we did for our customers, of course, if the quality checker sees it, how do you communicate with the machine in front of the process to make adjustments? Offset adjustments. Even in preventive and predictive, so some of the areas that if you know this axis, this servo alarm has been ringing a lot of times, what are the issues? How do we put analytics into it? But of course, putting analytics also equals to you have to put human knowledge inside. So from preventive to predictive, so this is what we did.
Regarding this electronics just now, so how long actually it will take for you to do some research regarding the machines that you're going to use? Is that quite tedious research that you did in order for you to have, the accurate machines for your production?
Okay, we did a lot of POCs. We did POCs with the customer. Of course, we sit down with the customer, we discuss their pain points. Usually it comes from the pain points, and then their desire. There's so many projects we want to do, and then we partner with the customer to do the POC, right? And then not only that, because in those POCs, when machine, we also have to communicate with our competitors. So I will share with you later, actually, that in this industry 4, it will become an ecosystem. You have to probably partner with your competitors as well. So, from preventive to predictive, in the past, for example, we have this data. We know that this problem happens, this problem, and what are the, if let's say you get a skilled or experienced technician, he has been doing this machine, he has been babysitting this machine for 30 years. Even he touch it, he listens to it, he knows what to do. But you cannot hold him forever because he will retire, or he may one day no longer work. Right? So what we did is that capture as much process information as possible, put it into a database, ticketing system, for example. When this system flag out, what's next? And the next level we are doing right now, we haven't finished yet, we will put analytics on it. So when a person gets this error code, what are the suggestions to do? He will know in the past history what can be done in order to solve the problem faster, right? Because time is of essence. Okay, AI usage, we have also used AI. So for us, we add on AI onto our products first. So we put in AI on programming, AI on, for example, inspection will be force for rejects or inspection calls. So AI will do the buy-off instead of human does the buy-off. So this is already have. We are one of the leading companies on doing this, and then we use this back into our own manufacturing. How can we use the same algorithms after we improve to make it better? So, of course, our vision, after from command control center, we will go into command center cockpit. So here, a lot of processes will be seen in one room. A lot of controls will goes into area. We will address the ticketing. We will also see that how to disembark information from one center to another, so that engineers don't have to travel across, or they can see in the overall. I would say that Industry 4 is a journey. For us, we start small. We start small in some of the sub-products that we do, but we have to scale fast. Okay. So, the other area, how do we scale fast, is that we teach everyone on our organization the importance of digitization. So, many organizations have this. This is just an Excel sheet, or you can put it in Google Sheets. Or many of them have this. So, when we teach about digitization, we tell them, okay, you put everything in data, and then with our own software, we can turn this into this, so that they can able to understand the insights of what the data is, and they make sense of it, and they combine few databases in single query, so they can analyze. Because we are turning the technicians, the engineers, to be analytics themselves instead of just 1 or 2%. So they are the domain level experts. There are many others. So how do I say, whereby teaching everyone? So what we did in the past 6 months, since May, I went up to ViTrox, and then I shared to. We have this called Pit Stop program in our company. So every 1 month there's an invited speaker, could be outside, could be in, to share some of the best practices. So I was one of the speakers in, I think, April, if I'm not mistaken. So I shared about the importance of digitization. Then after the end, I mentioned about what we're going to do is that we have trained our people development department, and they're going to open up every month, sometimes every 2 weeks, one class to teach the importance of digitization. So people will sign up, they will come and learn how to digitize their work, how to get the mundane drafts, the Excel that they have, and turn into different things. Because we have done 7 classes already, 139 people trained, average evaluation score of 90 and above. Next year, we will come up with new things so that they can do more and more. So all these things, actually, if you have some good products, you have, share it with your employees, share it with your partners, and they can use it as well. For us, we are also extending this to our partners next year. So, and then after I shared, because we know that we cannot do everything on our small team. So after we shared the how to do the coding, how to do the drafts, all this thing, they went on and do on their own already. And then lo and behold, after today, they said, wow, they've done certain things, which is very beautiful. Wow, they've done certain different things that gives them very good insight. So they move from what the level, the basic level they provided, into the next stage on their own application. So I have one video I can share. This is we did for the first phase in ViTrox, what we do by connecting almost not all importance department into digitalization journey, and of course we have more things to do next year. Let me just share you so that I can take the rest.
So this will be the processes that being digitized.
Sorry?
This will be the processes that being digitized from the conventional to digitalization.
Yeah,
This is the
yeah,
one? Oh.
yeah, correct. Some of it, some of it. A lot more. Yeah. operation of Industry 4.0. With V1, So we marketing video. So we just put our staff, we share the testimony. This is our first one, and more to come. So first and foremost, because whenever the best practices that we have to share. That's what our philosophy is. And then, is it we will encounter mistakes? Yes, we will encounter. And then, but we having the spirit of even Kaizen to improve it. That's what we believe. So, just share with you. You've seen in the video procurement. We have about 9-10 procurement ladies. We have more than 500 suppliers. More than 500 suppliers. So you imagine, in the past, 10 suppliers call one procurement saying that their part is late. The poor girl has to take out how many times phone key or all these things. It's crazy, right? Because suppliers will continue to grow, especially high mix low volume production. Because you have different tools, R&D come up with a new thing, you get a new supplier, your supply will go up. But is your procurement people going up as well? So what we did is that we connect to our ERP system. We added on certain APIs that we send our the V1 link to the supplier, and they can log in and key in if their part is going late or early. And we attach our POs directly to the system so that they can view it, and they can also attach the invoices inside. So there's no errors in doing double job. So whenever there's a delay is very common, right? And it disrupts a lot of things. What's the delay? Our ladies will go to the office, they will chart it out, they will open the dashboard, they will see which are the areas of delay. And then they will follow up on those suppliers, which is the delay parts, or in the Pareto diagram itself, see which are the areas they need to address. So the rest they will just deal with first. So that's how we did it. Of course, there's a lot of areas of improvements as well, and then we will continue to improve from there. Other areas, we also connected to our facilities because our new facilities, we have solar power. So we want to analyze how much does this solar power really powers our factory. And then the reason is, of course, is curiosity, one. Second thing is that because DNB has this dip and also the trunking, if you turn on everything at one time, the power usage will surge, and then that's your bill. They will give you a very nice bill, okay, at the end of the month. So we analyze from there when we see the power usage. We see a power usage. This is the environment, sorry. Yeah. The power usage, how does it, where does it dip, where does it fall? Because we have so many blocks. Then, or even so many blocks or even offices. Then from there we see that if we are to regulate the opening of the aircon, each block at a different time, maybe 10 minutes interval. Because we find out that how come when I go to the office at 8:30, my aircon is still not on, but other blocks is turned on already. So we regulate it until the power goes back down, and then we turn on the next one, so that the usage doesn't surge too big. Then we will, of course, we monitor the areas of the solar power as mentioned before, and then we also try, we use Xiaomi sensor. Because Xiaomi sensor, we put it into every certain blocks. This is one of our testing product, and we connect to Raspberry Pi and also some of the Arduino to check to see temperature, humidity on manufacturing, on offices, because we hear some complaints, here too cold, there too hot, then okay. So we try. You know, we use a lot of interns to do projects, and then they have fun. We have to learn a lot, and then from there how do we put into manufacturing. As I mentioned, we connect to different processes, we digitize them, we understand where are they, what are they doing, and then the information is being collected, so they publish on the dashboard. So these are some of the areas. in terms of people development, training, information being digitized in Google Sheets. Maybe this information may not stand alone, may not be so useful, because let's training department, cost per head. What information does it do? But we have ideas that we brainstorm or even talk over coffee. What if this manager or this engineer being promoted to become manager, then automatically we can see from their data what has he been trained off, what are the trainings he's lacking, and this can be automated, sent to him. These are the training that you can do, and then moving forward. So when you combine few departments of information, these are the things that is possible to do. Of course, in business development, I use this for CRM, and then I add it on into connectivity with our agents worldwide as well. Next one, Industry 4.0 requires partnership in your ecosystem. I find this very, very true, because in the past, when we want to do our own equipment or even our own machines, we want to do it either the best, the fastest, or the lowest cost. Right? This is very, very normal. But then Industry 4 comes in the certain disruption. People talks about how does machine talk to the machine and all this and that. So we see that the ecosystem is so important that they build it, and then the commonality of it. Of course, unless you acquire them, you can partner with them, or you can, some companies, well, you've seen also in some electronics, even though they acquire them, the customers don't buy one thing from one supplier. They buy from many. So that also ended up that even they acquire may not be helpful as well. So they still open up to work with each other. Over here, I'm also in charge of building the ecosystem. So in my industry, we built the ecosystem partnership. How do we do the machine-to-machine communication? Of course, with edge, gateway sensors, and so on and so forth, or legacy machines and so on. Okay, and then AI. We also come from nothing. We also need to learn, especially AI. So we hire a few people. We learn from the hit source. We learn from open source. And then from there, we benchmark. It's very interesting journey. So okay, this is also another. This talks about actually common communication protocols that is perhaps in your industry that is common. For example, in electronics could be this IPC, but in your industry, or in your manufacturing, or in your product line, what is the common protocol for common language? So these are the things that perhaps you have to engage on with them, and then communicate with them. What are the areas that you can work on? Because from there you network, and then you see what's the common language to build. As I come back to some the build of ecosystem, because in terms of equipment, this equipment you build maybe for electronics, maybe for rubber, maybe for automation, it may be for oil and gas, because the industry is very wide. So I can't say one protocol used for so many. It's important that you understand where your industry is, what are the common protocols that they communicate with among your customers. The last fact, recently I went to I went to in Munich, Germany. Before that, I went to IoT World Congress. I was a speaker over there, and then I see a lot of big booths. Deloitte, super big. Microsoft, even bigger. Accounting companies like or consulting, Boston Consulting Group, so very good speakers, they're world top class. And then Deloitte mentioned that ERP companies, SAP, so on and so forth. So I saw one common thing is that from consulting, they go into IoT by acquiring companies. They acquire small companies that gives them either IoT, digital twin, AR, VR, and all these things, and then they say that they are going to IoT. Also, many of them are showcasing, of course, digital is one. Second is that showcasing a lot of good marketing. But when I really see which are the manufacturers, machine manufacturers, are they adopting? Many are not really adopting it. They are earlier, much earlier in robotics. Okay, this is the point. They only adopted robots earlier. They went into Industry 3 much earlier because labor is very expensive for them. So it's easier, it's slightly easier from robots connected to Industry 4, of course, because you're on data, but they are not very far. So one of the message I will bring back to Malaysia, also to my friends, is that actually we are not very far ahead. They are not very far ahead. We can still catch up, but of course we have to do fast. So, question is that, for example, back to this slide. Some are Industry 1, 2, some 3, some 4, it doesn't matter. Right? Because in terms of, let's say, in the e-commerce, today is 12/12, biggest sale ever. You have a good product, but how do you market your good product? How do you sell your good product? How do you convert? So the question is always that, does your organization ready to jump? Jump from 2 to 3, or jump from 2 to 4, or go to 3 if the requirement is there. And that's it. Because why moving forward to 5, for example? I always say in some of my speech, if it comes to 5 one day, lot size 1. If we don't go through digitization, lot size 1 is impossible. It's very scary. Today we can still jump to 4, but if you come to Industry 5 one day, without 4 you cannot do 5, then it's a big problem. So, all in all, I emphasize again, Industry 4 is a journey. Digitization or digital transformation is a journey. So, start something, make mistakes, and then from there, learn from it. How do you adopt for your organization? Because every organization is slightly different from each other, and knowing the pain points. For us, we started a bit early because our customers push us. It's just simple. It's not that one day we wake up, Mr. Chu once said, oh, let's go for Industry 4. No. Our customers want it. And then we get this information, we gather, we correlate, and to be competitive compared to Koreans, to Japan, to Chinese. Not US, Chinese. The China. We have to be moving fast. So that's why we improve on our products first, then we come back, okay, we have to go on our manufacturing, we need to, of course, improve a lot as well. So before 1 year, 2 years ago, we were still at the old plant, nothing much we can do. Certain processes, of course, we incorporate the ERP, all these things. Then when it comes to our new plant, a lot of blueprint is we put up. Our top management are very into Industry 4, and then very, very supportive. It's very important. And these are some of the areas in terms of, I also understand the SMEs as well, in previous engagement. The owners also have to believe it. Owners also have to believe it that this will improve. Because if owners don't believe it, it's very difficult. So that's all in all, my sharing. If there's any areas that I say wrongly, please forgive me. And then questions, I'm open to any questions. Thank you.